Don't judge a man by the dirt on his hands, but by the scars he hides. The voice of an older janitor echoed softly in the empty marble hallway of Caldwell Industries, a billion-dollar empire of luxury tech. His name was Ethan Cole, a quiet man who cleaned floors and fixed light bulbs, often ignored by the executives who walked past him every morning. But none of them knew beneath his faded blue uniform and rough hands lay a story that would one day silence the laughter of even the richest man in that building. The day started like any other. Ethan arrived before sunrise, pushing his mop and bucket through the glass doors, his reflection flickering in the pristine walls that didn't belong to his world. The CEO, Lance Caldwell, was scheduled to visit that morning, a man born into wealth, known for his sharp tongue and colder heart. Rumor had it that he despised ordinary people and treated employees like disposable parts of a machine. As the luxury car pulled up outside, everyone rushed to look busy. Ethan simply kept mopping, humming an old tune under his breath. The doors opened, and Lance walked in wearing a suit that probably cost more than Ethan's yearly salary. His eyes swept across the lobby and then landed on the janitor who hadn't moved out of his way. "You missed a spot," Lance said sharply, pointing at the floor with his shiny shoe. The staff chuckled nervously. Ethan didn't react. He simply looked up, smiled faintly, and nodded. "I'll take care of it, sir." But that calmness, his quiet strength, seemed to irritate the billionaire even more. "You know," Lance continued, "people like you should learn your place. You're paid to clean, not to stare." The laughter this time was louder. The security guards smirked. Even the receptionist looked away, embarrassed for Ethan. But the janitor just wrung out his mop, said nothing, and kept working. Later that day, a crisis hit. A critical system malfunctioned inside one of the company's research labs. The security doors jammed, trapping several employees inside while a fire alarm blared. Panic erupted. No one could override the system. Engineers shouted, executives called for help, but the flames were spreading fast. Then Ethan dropped his mop and ran, ignoring the shouts to stay back. He sprinted straight into the smoky corridor. The heat was unbearable, but he moved with the precision of someone who had been in worse situations. He smashed the emergency panel with his elbow, cut through the control wires, and used a manual override that nobody even knew existed. Within seconds, the doors unlocked. People stumbled out coughing and crying, but they were safe thanks to the janitor everyone had laughed at just hours before. When the smoke cleared, Ethan was sitting outside the lab, shirt partly torn, revealing a tattoo on his shoulder, a symbol no one expected to see. It was a Special Forces insignia, etched deep into his skin. The same one used by elite military units. Silence filled the hallway as the billionaire CEO stared in disbelief. "Where did you get that?" Lance asked, voice unsteady for the first time. Ethan looked up slowly. "Operation Iron Veil. Afghanistan. 2009. That one sentence froze everyone. Lance swallowed hard. That operation was one of the most classified and dangerous missions ever conducted, known only to top defense officials. Soldiers from that unit were legends, men who saved countless lives under impossible conditions. And the man who had just mopped the floors of Caldwell Industries was one of them. Lance's arrogance cracked. Why are you working here?" he asked quietly. Ethan smiled faintly. "Because, sir, after the uniform comes off, life doesn't care who you were. I needed a job. My daughter's in college. Bills don't salute medals." The CEO had no response. He just stood there, staring at a man whose dignity couldn't be measured by his paycheck. Later that evening, the company's internal message board lit up. Videos of the rescue spread, showing the janitor who saved lives with calm bravery. Comments poured in from every department: respect, gratitude, even apologies. The next morning, Lance personally visited the maintenance room. No cameras, no assistants, just him and Ethan. "I owe you an apology," Lance said, his tone stripped of pride. "You taught me something I forgot a long time ago, that real strength doesn't come from money." Ethan shook his hand firmly. "And respect, sir," he replied softly, "isn't something you inherit. It's something you earn." From that day forward, the janitor's uniform was no longer a symbol of status, it was a reminder of humility. The CEO quietly arranged for Ethan's daughter's full college scholarship, never taking credit. Ethan stayed at the company, not because he had to, but because he wanted to remind people that heroes can be found anywhere, even in the man cleaning the floors. Months later, at a corporate event, Lance introduced Ethan to the entire company. "This man," he said, his voice breaking slightly, "taught me the difference between leading with power and leading with heart." The room stood in applause. Ethan didn't smile for fame, he simply looked at the crowd and said, "You never know what battles someone fought before they walked through your door. So be kind. Always." The lights dimmed, and his words lingered in the air like an anthem. By the end of the story, viewers realize it wasn't just about a janitor or a billionaire. It was about respect, humility, and the quiet heroes who live among us, unseen. So if you're watching this, remember, greatness doesn't always wear a suit. Sometimes, it carries a mop and a story that could humble the world.